Hello, this is the second recording of the Arduino based basic programs. The next program that you see here is about the ability to control an LED through a switch. And if you see in the program here that I have declared the LED to be equal to 10, meaning that whenever I use the word LED, that's the same thing as number 10. And the input pin, I declared it to be 9, and I set the time standard for 1000 milliseconds. So these two lines, 8 and 9, are setting the pin number 10, right, which is LED, as an output, and the pin number 9 as an input pin, receiving a signal from the outside world, and this is transmitting a signal to the outside world, in this case to an LED, and this is reading from a switch. In the loop, we read the status of the switch, right, in pin here, the status of the switch. If the switch status is 1, that means I press the button, and when I press the button, the connections are such that the pin connected to 9 will be high, 5 volts that is. Then I would like to output a high on the LED. That means the LED will turn on. And for a time of 1 second. Then if the status of the switch is open, that means I don't press the switch, which means in this case it's connected to ground, therefore the LED will be off, and it's going to be off for 1 second. But of course, since it's a loop, that means if I don't touch the switch, it'll be off, and if I press the switch, it will be high and stays high for as long as the switch is depressed. Of course, you will see also that it depends on when it reaches that condition. For example, I may press the switch and nothing happens because it's still in this area, right, for 1 second. And that means it has to go to the beginning of the loop before it finds out that the switch has been depressed. And vice versa, I could let go, and it will still be in this loop for that duration of 1 second, let's say at the beginning of the 1 second, which means it will remain high until it gets to this part of the loop. So going to the breadboard, first let me upload the program, and as you see here, there are no errors, and therefore it should be uploaded properly. And if we switch to the breadboard, I'm using this switch here to control the LED, right? And that's the one that is connected to the breadboard. And in this case, if I press the switch, as you see, it took a little time because it was still in the loop where it was off, and it stays on for as long as my finger is on the switch. When I let go, and as you see, it took a little time because it was still probably in the loop where it was a high until it got into part of the loop that says the LED should be off. So moving to another example, and this is a picture of when I did it before. In this case, the wheel program, the boardwalk wheel, is related to a program where I turn on one LED on, all the others will be off, and then the second one will be high while all the others will be off, and so on, right? So it may be, well, in this case, obviously, the program is written for about 6 outputs, 6 LEDs, connected to pins number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And as you see here, they're all declared to be outputs. So when I write a high, that means there's a high that is put on pin 7, then it will turn on while all the others are off. or in this case, yeah, while all the others are off, and then for a delay set by the timer, which is 1 second, and then the next one, 7, will be off, and 6 will be high, and all the others will be off, and so on, and then turn off 6, and then turn on 5, and it will just go on, and as you see there, if I get to the breadboard, right, but of course, let me first upload the program, and boardwalk wheel, and so again, as you see here, and if you see here, obviously this is starting with this case, obviously with pin 7 high, and then everything will be turned off while that single LED will be on, and it will just keep on going. Now, if I do it in a sense that it will be much faster, let's say maybe 100 milliseconds, right? 100 milliseconds. And so, and as you see here, it's going to be brrr. And then if it goes even faster, and then I stop the movement at some point, hopefully only one LED will be high, but we don't know which one, right? So that's like the boardwalk wheel that you find in those festivals, and the winner will be the ones who guessed where which LED will remain high when the count stops, right? So obviously the point here of the game is to take your money, because it's random. Like your choice could be any one of the LEDs, and it's just a matter of deciding whether you want to lose your money. But the owner of the game will be always picking up some of the money, right? I mean, he doesn't give you everything that everybody has paid. He has to take his cut. But the point here is that it's a nice game to have in a family, for example, and as long as you have fun, why not, right? Next one is, of course, you could always do that with 8 LEDs, with more LEDs, depending on how many pins you have. In this case, it's just showing you that I can do it in a little bit more elegant way. That means instead of all this program here, the length and the number of LEDs is higher, and in this case I could just do it more elegantly with loops, right? So in this case, for example, instead of looking at every output, I say from pin 2 all the way to pin 7, for as long as you are in this range, right? Increment, that means go from 2 to 3 to 4 and declare all those pins as outputs, and then within the loop, so we say that as long as the pin is whatever 2, for example, and then increment it. At that time we make it a high, and then we turn it off. We make it a high, then we turn it off, right? We make it a high for let's say in this case 0.5 seconds, and then we turn it off immediately. And most likely that means when it goes to the next one, it's pin number 3, it's pin number 4, it's pin number 5, and so on, right? So that's that simple. And in this case here, we have a different version that shows the pins here to be the boardwalk wheel. Instead of having one LED at a time, it's going to be LED 1, LED 3, then LED 2, LED 4, LED 3, LED 5, LED 4, LED 6. So that means 2 LEDs at a time, and repeating itself. That's all. So if I go and try it again, let's see here. Sorry for the interruption, because I by mistake I removed the flash drive where I had the file for these 2 LEDs at a time. So as you see here, I just enable 2 pins, 2 LEDs at a time. Let's say when I start with pin number 2, then pin number 4 also will be high. So this in terms of pins, but if I take them as LEDs, so LED 1 and LED 3, LED 2 and LED 4, and so on, and then it repeats itself. So if I upload this, let's see here, as you see, then you see here, for example, that these 2 LEDs, then these 2, then these 2, separated by 1, right? So And that means you can do whatever you want. You can play with different versions. You can play with, different colors. And then if I make it a little faster, maybe it'll be more fun. And let's see here. And as you see, now it's right. So you could turn it into colors that could be related to the flashing lights of a police car or something, on the porch. It's up to you, right? Have fun.